we're live. Right, let's make sure I can hear this properly. Right, sound test. Oh, it technically works. Okay then. Oh, I need to There we go. Everybody. Okay then, so give a moment for the crowds to come on in and we'll go from there. So, ladies and gentlemen, to those of you who are watching the re-stream, thank you very much for tuning in. The VOD, that's what it's called. Thank you very much for tuning in if you are here live. So, Kawaii Panda, hello, thank you very much for tuning in. Good to see you. That is a username I don't recognize. So if you're new to the stream, thank you for coming along. How you doing? Good to see you. If you have any questions, be sure to ask. And yeah, we're going to have a good time tonight. It's going to be a good one. Some more sets have been leaked. I got loads of models to showcase. Going to be a fun time. Oh, yes. I'm also going to be conducting a little experiments as the next few weeks go on. So hopefully we can get quite a bit done by the end of the year. It's still that little bit hair right there. There we go. Don't need that. That is what's a good name? We'll get more names as we go along. Just need to think of two more at the moment. Tonks Galaxy Railway. Thank you very much for tuning in. How you doing? Cheese Grommet also. Hello, Luke. How are you doing today? I'm doing fine. What are you doing with a cheesy grommet? Was not expecting that. Can you show the Scotsman how did the angle? So the model you're referring to, I built 3 or 4 years ago. That model has been long scrapped. I don't think I have anything that shows how I made it. How did I even make that bit? Because I know what section you're referring to. Sadly, I don't own any Wallace and Gromit merch, but I'm going to. But I'm doing good. Well, excellent. That's good to hear. I can't think of how I made that section of the boiler because it's from an old model. How? Because it wasn't with the hinge that you did. Because I remember making it and it was quite blocky. Yeah, I was making my own in the original thing, but it was the only thing I was stuck on. To be fair, that is a section that a lot of builders do get stuck on as well. Because it's angled, you need to try and find a way to build it up in such a way where there's no gaps or where the firebox meets the curvature of the boiler. Like, getting rid of that gap is insanely difficult sometimes. How? You know, 1 second. I think I can remember. Let me grab a few bricks. Let me try and figure it out. I need plates. I need a hinge. I think it was one of these. Where are my hinges? Oh boy. I mean, having a new system for my parts is nice. Here we go. Yeah. Right. So having a new system to store my parts in is nice and all. Oh, just need to get used to how I was making them. Tom says, also I have a question, and I hope you don't mind me asking this, but how are your Trackmasters going? I mean, I haven't added any more to the collection. The box is still tucked away safe. Yeah, I don't plan on getting rid of them anytime soon. I don't plan on adding to it anytime soon. But they're there. They're clean. They're safe. They should all still function so long as the battery acid hasn't corroded away yet. But yeah, they're good. It's not a bad question at all. Okay, so I wonder how easy it's going to be for the camera to pick this up. So if I can recall correctly, because I remember doing this with the P2 when I first started making models at 7 wide. So, hinge piece. The camera can't focus. My webcam is a pile of ass. So, this traditional hinge piece. However many plates you need. And the 1x2 Technic brick with some holes in. I remember that working in such a way, being angled so it can achieve the sloped effect of the firebox. And then some cheese wedges at the top to try and get it to fit in, so it tucks underneath the 2x4 slopes that I had on the side to represent that bit of the smoke of the boiler, rather. Terminology is going to be all over the place. I haven't done train stuff in forever. But that is the only other thing I can remember doing. And it's likely I did this for the 7 wide Scotsman as well. Give it a try. Yep, indeed. Give it a try. See if it works. It might take some time to find the sweet spot because I remember this sitting on, like, the hinge was sat on jumpers. Again, there's a couple of plates between the hinge and the Technic brick itself. Yeah, it was not the... Well, it was easy, but it wasn't the cleanest thing ever. Again, very blocky, very bulky. Tom says, I've noticed your channel has gotten a lot less views since you stopped doing Lego train mocks, which I find is not fair. I find your Lego car video is really interesting. They deserve more views. Well, thank you for saying that. But yes, ever since I kind of left Lego trains behind, it's been very obvious that my viewership and my subscribers have been not keen to move on with me. Obviously, my channel was built up around Lego trains, so for me to leave that behind, a lot of people are going to be very disinterested. Thankfully, I've not really lost any fans because of it. So that's a good thing, of course. And even then, Street Racers Series 1 and 2 have done fairly well, I would say. So if I quickly go back through the series, Series 1 in particular, if we look at each of the profiles, the initial Garage mock showcase has 235 views. That's not bad, to be honest. I mean, it's triple digits, and that's what I care about. Each of the character profiles, all but a couple have... Actually, no, about half of the ones on Season 1 have triple-digit views. A lot of them under 100. But again, that makes sense because this was where I got a hardcore switched into making car stuff. But looking at Season 2, a lot of these are close to 200 plus. Like, all but 2 of them have 100 plus views. A lot of these have 200, and there was a period between episodes, let's see which one it was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and 21 having really good views. And the monster trucks at the end did pretty well to go along with it. So Season 2 for Street Racers, that actually did really well. So some people do enjoy the fact that I'm doing Lego car stuff. After which I kind of had to put everything on hold in terms of filming because there's a lot of stuff I really wanted to do to build up to Season 3. So it's like, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Lego show vlogs, another full-size wrestling belt, which again is a very, very niche crowd, so the performance of that video is kind of what it is. The cafe bus that I posted a couple of days ago, that is, yeah, not a good performing video, but I could kind of understand why. Well, I do understand why, so say I kindly do. But yeah, you know, I get why the videos aren't performing so well, because I know where my audience was built up to begin with. Sorry, I'm interacting with a couple of things for another experiment I'm doing. I mean, yeah, I get it. I totally get it. Hopefully, it's not going to be a consistent thing, because I will be coming back to Lego trains. I've said this countless times, but the timing of it needs to be right. I need the new year to come and go, because there's so many sets I need to get my hands on to build more car stuff. But once I've got that, and once a determination has been made in regards to how my layout will be built in relation to what my lug is going to be doing next year, once that has been made, then I can focus on building the new train layout. And I'm absolutely going to milk it for content. So many work in progress videos. I'm going to make sure I get as much on camera as possible, get so many videos out, because, again, people want to see the Lego trains, and I would love to get back into the swing of it. But I'm just not inspired for it at the moment. I have 2 models to overhaul. Well, one's overhaul, one that needs modification against the small wagons I want to make. And yeah, that's all I can really do besides the layout. But it will get done. I will figure it out. Thankfully, more storage space has been made available. So I can work on storage space for the new layout. It's going to be a bit tricky. I need to build the layout first, but we'll get there. So Koi Pandy says, it's been killing me for a week on what the inside looks like. Thank you very much. Yep, that's okay. We will hopefully move on from there, because if you still don't know how to put it together, I think I'll have to try and combine methods from both to figure it out. I mean, that's the beautiful thing with Lego. There's so many methods to build the same overall detail. Tom now says, which engines do you still have? So, the trains I still have, so I've still got the Coronation, still got the Blue Goose, Emerald Champion, and the Giant Coronation, aka Dragon. Dragon is overdue for an overhaul, because I want that to look way more detailed, and the cylinder arrangement for the drive wheels is a bit, you know, kind of shows what it was like at the time building in that particular style. Still got Stevenson's Rocket, and I still got Smokey Joe, and I still got Spencer A7, and I still got the Miracle Express. And that's it. Those 8 trains, that's all I've got. I've got a lot of miscellaneous wagons, coaches and rolling stock alike. I've still got the 3 coaches to go with the Stevenson's Rocket. I plan on making different wagons to go with Stevenson's Rocket, along with a way to motorize it so I can have that go on its own. I still have my model of Scarloey as well, and I'm going to be making some narrow gauge coaches to fit it all together to have that powered as well, because I will be making a narrow gauge loop for my new layout. The plan is all still there. So, let's move on to, before we go into the MOC showcase, let's quickly move on to a look at, what was that? Oh, something else. Let's have a look at some of the new set leaks that came out. So quite a few more pictures have been released. Harry Potter Malfoy Manor looks pretty damn good. One of the minifigures that's coming with it is from Deathly Hallows Part 1, where Harry has half of his face kind of swollen up. That's actually really cool. I like how we're getting that as a minifigure, because it's not something we've ever seen before. It's new. That's what I love about it. We're getting another food truck. So we had a food truck once every year for like 5 years now. This year we saw the burger van, which was really cool. And next year, 2025, we're getting a donuts van. It looks so good. The fun thing about this It is coming with some wheel mudguard pieces, which are in, I thought it was reddish brown. It's a slightly brighter shade of brown, but we're still getting them in brown. So I'm excited about that because I've been umming and erring about making Speed Champion style Pixar Cars characters. I think I said this last week as well. But every now and then it's like, oh, I kind of want to. The race car is going to be a bit tricky because they have decals. Lightning McQueen in particular is going to be a freaking nightmare. I still cannot figure out that shape. Oh, pardon me. But I would love to give it a proper go. And with the fact that we're getting these mudguard pieces in brown means Mater becomes a whole becomes a whole lot more viable. There we go. Yeah, so I'm actually quite looking forward to getting some of these sets because some of these I'm going to get just for parts. One good thing about this as well, the donut van, all the pictures, by the way, are in the Discord server in the Lego Chats tab, so make sure you check this out. The donut van in particular looks like it comes with dark azure shade blue pieces. I've been doing a lot of dark azure hoarding recently, so that is excellent because I can add that to a stash of parts I now have a lot of. Really cool. The scrapyard got some more leaked pictures. I'm still so excited for that. There's not too much I haven't already said, but it looks beautiful. I cannot wait for it. It's supposed to be $80 this set, and frankly, totally worth it. And there is seemingly a soapbox style race set coming out. Again, pictures are in the Discord server. This thing looks really, really cool. I don't know if this is going to be a whole pack because the main set itself is a ramp. And we got 2 racers and 2 extra minifigures. But there are pictures that came out of, I suppose, at the very least, two packs of 2 race cars. I get like, so think like the Red Bull Soapbox Racing Challenge. That's what we're looking at. So these probably would come out together. That might be like £8. That'd be horrible if it was. But I would much prefer if these came out all. I would much prefer if these came out all together as one big pack. So you got all 6 races at once. But something tells me, given these particular pictures, that's clever by the way. Yeah, just looking at the pictures, I reckon these are going to be individually sold. Not the worst thing ever, but why not group them together? Sadly, he doesn't run on Lego Track, but he can indeed fly. How did you get into Thomas? Well, Thomas was something I watched as a kid. Never let it go. I don't know what age I first started watching Thomas, but that was something that really stuck for me. I remember growing up, seeing the change to CGI and thinking, that's the same, but it's different. What's going on? And growing up, season by season, going through the Bobber, not getting to Bobber yet, but I remember going through the Brenner era, to seeing all the good episodes and how everyone was saying season 20 was the best season ever. And then I remember Bobber being introduced, and then properly being introduced to Unlucky Tug's YouTube channel around the same time. And the rest is history, I guess. I mean, I decided to fully commit to being an adult and spend adults' money on childish things. Bought some Lego to make Lego Thomas characters, and it's been off to the races ever since. Yeah. I got into it as a kid, like countless other people. Okay then, so more sets have been discussed. Some intro stuff has been sorted. Let's get into the meat of this live stream here today. So, as you know, I've been building a hell of a lot of Lego cars. The last show I did, which was nearly 2 weeks ago, Bristol Brick Show, biggest show of the year, we raised over £16,000 for Children's Hospice Southwest and Fairy Bricks, which was such a wonderful thing to see. To be able to be a part of that and to help raise those funds by being a displayer is really, really cool. I cannot believe we got that much raised. But in the vlog, which I released, you will have seen my display. And it is littered with Lego cars. So, I thought, for this live stream, let's show some of them off. Because, why not? At the same time, the idea of showing these models was going to be a Patreon exclusive, but we all know how that went. If you do want to support me, the link's in the description. I'm just going to say that for the sake of saying it. But let's carry on and have a look at some of these models. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 8. Now I've got 9 models here to showcase. There are like 33 new cars I've built at the moment, something like that. So season 3 of Street Racers is going to be more than 30 profiles. It's going to be a big one. Ooh, lordy. I've committed to a terrible thing. Oh well, that's just life, I guess. Right, so let's have a look at the car. I need to remember which way around I did this. Is it? It's this side. It's the awkward wall side. So showcase model number 1, one of many new hot rods, and one inspired by Hot Wheels. Oh yeah. So me and my wonderful girlfriend have been going to car boot sales for the past number of months. After we finished selling, we would have a wander around ourselves, and there is always someone who has a box of die-cast cars, and it's 95% just Hot Wheels. And I would think to myself, well, there's probably going to be a couple of good-looking cars in there, and I could probably grab what, they're like 50 pence each. Let's grab a couple, let's see what looks good. I can use that as inspiration for some models in the future. Now, one of them kind of looks like this. It was more of a Z frame, so the car itself it was much more exaggerated with how sharp that Z was. But again, this being Lego is a hell of a lot more bulky, so it's all kind of kept together there. It's a bit tricky to see. Nice big roof piece there, which was given to me by a fellow lugmate after trading some track pieces away to him. Was that what I did? I gave him something, and he gave me a bunch of car parts in turn, and amongst them was this from the Monster Fighters hearse. I had to use that part for something, and it turned into the roof for one of my hot rods. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this one. So this is, again, one of many hot rods I've made over the past couple of months. But goddamn, hot rods are so fun to make. They really are. So that is model 1 of 9. Strap in, folks. These are wicked models. I've had to pick and choose which ones to get as well. 3 of these, which we will get to later, are my 3 latest models. So that's something to look forward to. These are like fresh at the workshop. Always have a bottle of diesel fuel ready. Oh, yes. So, model number 2. This is up there in my top 5 favorite car models that I've made. Depending on how I'm feeling in the day when I look at this, it's sometimes number 1, sometimes it's number 4. But this is definitely a favorite, and I reckon a lot of people are going to like this. This definitely stood out when I did the Bristol Brick Show a couple of weeks ago. And I don't know whether to call this a muscle car or a hot rod or like a half and half. But my goodness, the idea versus the execution was definitely a thing. The idea was there. The execution was way better. I promise you now, this was so much cooler than how I had it look in my mind. So again, this was inspired by a Hot Wheels car. And there were a couple that I had where the front wheel was bigger than the rear. So I thought to myself, well, I got these larger wheels from the Mercedes 2-pack Speed Champion set. I don't think I've done too much with black and dark grey as a colour combination, so we're off to the races from there. Some experimenting was done, some shaping was tested with. It was a bit of a back and forth, this particular model, but when I got to this sort of overall shape, once I had the front bit figured out in particular, that's how I knew I had a model I was very happy with. So yeah, this is, again, I realize that this is a really cool model, but there was another one I made which I purposefully not got with me today. I don't want to show off all the cool ones. There are some I definitely prefer over compared to others, but this one I reckon maybe it wouldn't be, but this is one of those moments where I feel like maybe if this was a different color combination or different colors altogether, it might look a bit better. But at the same time, the darker colors make this look way more serious. The exhausts was something I really wanted to do as well with this particular style. So they are on the side with some side-studded pieces. I've been able to get this into a shape. I don't remember that being too finicky, but I do remember the first part of me making this car was, if I can hold it, this shape here. So that's is some upside down building, which uses a couple of off-brand double-studded 1x2 plates. You could say whatever you want. I'm not 100% purist, but I knew this shape was the first thing to be built, and the rest of the car kind of had to be built around that. But I think the end result is just just stunning. It's so stupid, but this is one of those cool stupids, you know? Yeah, I do need to work on making these front wheels a bit more free rolling. Josh, the main man, has arrived. Hello, thank you very much for tuning in. I was about to message you before the stream, but I started watching a bunch of God of War videos. I got a bit distracted. Good to see you, though. Thank you very much for tuning in. I shall message you after the live stream. I've got more pictures to show you. Tonk says, I'm watching this in the Triton server, if that's okay. Yeah, of course. Absolutely okay. So long as you're watching and you're happy, thank you very much for tuning in. There we go. Front wheel's a lot more free rolling now. There we go. So yeah. Right. Oh, you're in the voice channel. Oh, that's interesting. Well, if it works for you, absolutely fair enough. That's something we should look into one day. Having another voice chat thing. I should probably deafen myself to make it. I don't know. We'll look into it another time. I'll have to figure out. So that is model 2 of 12. Oh, making these cars is a lot of fun. It's becoming tricky to get more unique shapes, but a shape like that, you know you've got a winner, because one idea can lead into another, and you got a lot of similar-ish shapes for a lot of models, but they all have their own sense of character. And that's something I was really happy with, because there were quite a few people during Bristol Brick Show who said, it's not the same thing, but they all said something along the lines of, every car looks different. Again, they're all that long, that wide, sort of similar height, but the way the fronts are shaped, the way the spoilers are made, the color combos definitely help with making each car look unique. The color combos are one thing, but again, the actual shapes of the cars themselves, no two cars look the same. And I'm so happy to have been able to keep that going. Yeah, so that is model 2 of 9. Oh, I'm going to put my leg up for a bit. Let's give myself some pins and needles, because why not? Sorry, I saw my phone going a bit mad. Let's get rid of all that guff. Oh, righty then. Which one did we go with next? Tell you what, let's finish the Mad models I got with me. This one was popular with the guy I was displaying across. This is a duck. Hello, Andrew. Thank you very much for tuning in. How are you doing? I'm going to be lurking as usual. That's A-okay. Thank you very much for tuning in. So, again, at BBS, with the person I was displaying across of, he was glancing every now and then at the car display I had, and there was one in particular that stood out to him as a favorite way above all the others. He nicknamed this car the Lead Sled, and frankly, it stuck. I only ever gave one other car a nickname. It was a small blue and white car, which I nicknamed the Icicle, because the rear window piece was an ice texture piece. It was for the street racer character profile for Lloyd. So this is the second car to have a nickname, but I do like the idea of giving more cars nicknames as a way of making them more memorable. Only a few. There's one I want to make with green and lime green, which I want to call the Green Saber. pardon me. But this is the lead sled. And this is wicked. Look at this. Oh my god. It actually worked with how I wanted to make it. So this is another car which is inspired by a Hot Wheels car. And I was going through the wiki, looking at all the Hot Wheels cars that have been released over the years. Saw a car that looks very similar to this in shape. The detailing on it was such an intricate pattern along the side. It was like silver and dark grey. It was so smoky, but it looked wicked. But I thought, okay, the shape I know I can do. What do I do on the side to make it look a bit better? I want to add some flames. Flames! I've got these 2x6 tiles, which are from the City Burger van. So I was able to grab all the ones I had. There were 2 I had on one of my monster trucks. So I took them off the monster truck, put them onto this, and it fits. I'm so glad it fits because I wanted the exhaust pipes in particular to be in this particular style. I want them to two next to each other and in a V shape essentially. The shaping of the whole car itself, again, is a very sort of simple-ish shape. But the way the headlights go together, again, there's a stud connection point. You know, if I take that off, a bit tricky to see, but you can see that middle stud there. It's all lined up in just such a way where having these rounded plates all connect together to make the headlights. The grille just worked perfectly. Again, I did as much as I could to mimic the Hot Wheels car. Got all my light grey pieces that would work. These 2 handlebar pieces in particular really sell it. It really does. And on the tip of the hood, or the bonnet, is an owl, like an evil owl sticker piece. So that is from the black and teal race car sets that came out at the start of this year. On the sticker sheet is 3 of these. But I thought, as another extra, it's just an extra detail. But yeah, it works perfectly. It is such a perfect shape. Again, I don't think I'm going to make another car similar in shape to this. But come on. Sometimes models just work. And this one worked very well. So this is the lead sled. Duck, I absolutely agree with you. This is very cool. But yeah, another thing I like about this one is you got all these details here, the hood, the engine, that's all fine. But I knew I wanted to make a car that had the wheels tucked in. Again, perfectly free rolling. There's like a couple of hairs of space between the wheel and the plates. But that's perfectly smooth. And it was, oh, that's knocking the people. Well, this is another problem I have with this particular car. With how the exhausts are held on, it is just a tad loose, but it does work. So it was a good timing sort of combo of wanting to make a car of this shape, where I found the Hot Wheels car online, and also having the desire of making a car with the wheels tucked in. I want to make another one where the wheels are tucked in, but I want to make it make sense. Above all things, I want the model to make sense, because that determines if I like the end result or not. There have been a few times, especially recently, where I've tried to make another car model, get started, try a few things, but if it doesn't line up, then the model just gets scrapped. And I tried that with a first attempt at the green. Where are my brushes? There they are. I've had this model out for like half an hour. How has it got dust all over it? But yeah, as I just mentioned, sometimes things don't line up in the way you'd hope. So it has to go. But that's not a bad thing. It really isn't a bad thing. Don't force yourself through a creative block just to have something made. Having the right inspiration for it is so important. It really is. Right, so that is a third of the way through. A hot rod, a muscle car, and a lead sled. I like that name. That absolutely works. So, let me shuffle. I'll turn myself back around. We have 6 cars left. We have 2 lowriders, 2 tuners, make sure I'm picking up the right fingers, 2 lowriders, 2 tuners, a drifter, and a truck. Which one do we want to see next? If there's any particular preference, say so now. Lowrider, tuner, drifter, or truck? What do we feel? What do we fancy? Tonk is saying the truck. Technically, this truck is my latest creation. I made this last night. There's actually a story behind this too, which is really cute. Right then, let's go with the truck at this point. So again, Bristol Brick Show. There were 3 big vendors there, and there were so many wonderful sets available, and I was a good boy in not buying any. Actually, that's a lie. I bought one, which my girlfriend then bought off of me, so I can have it for Christmas. It was a small skate park set from the City Line with a little Vita Rush delivery truck. And I thought, the Vita Rush delivery truck, that's going to be a cool thing to add. I like the idea of making more road vehicles. We've got the whole street racer scene, but just a couple of different road vehicles that I'm inspired enough to want to make. Yeah, I mean, why not? The cafe bus, for example. The car carrier obviously works. The cafe bus is slowly being torn apart. Yeah, that's going to be scrapped. I already said that, though. But the idea of a delivery truck was really cool. This truck in particular is shaped after a model I saw online. So there is a big set you can buy. It's called pickup truck. It's like the larger vehicles you can get, like that sort of size. Dark red, a couple of things you can chuck in the trailer. It's a beautiful set. And I made a City 6-wide version of a pickup truck using my girlfriend's parts, and a Tiny Turbos 4-wide scale version of that same truck, just using scrap parts that were available at the time, just to have a chill evening. But a few nights ago, I built an 8-wide Speed Champions version of that truck. But I saw a few weeks ago someone on Facebook, the name escapes me because I screenshotted the model, the picture I should say, and kind of shrunk it down so I can only see the models. So the name of the builder escapes me, but I saw a beautiful, beautiful model of like a 50s style. You know Smokey from Cars 3? Him in red. It was perfect, and in Lego, it was absolutely perfect. So I said to her, "I'll make this for you, so we can have a little collection, 4-wide, 6-wide, 8-wide, and the big official set." But I said to her, "I'm gonna have to hold on to it for a moment because I want to have a version of this truck for myself. I love it so much." But then I remembered, oh yeah, I want to make a delivery truck. So this happened. Straight away, the colors are a bit garish. Oh, pardon me. I need to get a drink in a moment. But yeah, this is what we're rocking with. Let me try and dim the light a bit. There we go. That's better. So yeah, this is my Vita Rush delivery truck. So you can kind of see the shaping there on the front. That's the big parts of what made this look really cute. So again, imagine this, only 4 wheels instead of 6, and completely in red. That was such a beautiful Oh, my voice has gone really dry. Hang on, let me get a drink 1 sec. Ooh-wee, talking so much. Should have got myself some water, to be honest. Right, where were we? So this model, the front of the model in particular is where the kind of main inspiration came from. Getting that particular shape was actually not as difficult as I thought it would be. The use of ice skates as the grille, the way the headlights are attached, it was really, really clever. Simple, but clever. That's what makes it really good. So I adopted this into a 6-wider, some white pieces on the back, a functioning trailer cover. What would you call this? Like an extra door, and a small pallet with some Vita Rush drink bottles on the back, and some flags because I got the parts. So the reason why this is orange, white, and lime is because back when I made a bunch of race cars, I also made a Vita Rush team. The lorry and the race car was white, orange, and lime. Trying to find a balance between the three colors was a bit tricky, just to figure out what color mudguard pieces I was going to use. Once that was decided, the rest of the car came together. I think it's fairly balanced, and overall, I'm actually quite happy with it. So on the top it says Vita Rush Stunts. On the back, well, you can't really see it, but it says Vita Rush Racing. And on the tip of the hood, it just says Vita Rush, as it does on the flags on the side. So I love the idea that the Vita Rush sort of brand name, it's homegrown by LEGO themselves, but it's slowly becoming more and more of a thing, I suppose. The CMF, it was like the esports gamer girl, on the back of her shirt, it says Vita Rush. There are more sets, especially with the stunts line, where this part in particular comes from, where it's sponsored by Vita Rush. It's becoming the next Octan, but I love it. I hope we see more Vita Rush themed sets in the future, because that's just more ammo to make more Vita Rush things as we go forward. It's so exciting. The driver in particular, I think, is also from a stunt set, or at least the torso and the well, maybe not the trouser, but the torso is. So this is a green sort of jumpsuit, or an orange jumpsuit, I should say, on a green jumper. You can vaguely make out the Vita Rush logo in the center. He's wearing a bow tie. I found a nice headpiece with some glasses, some sensible looking hair. That's my driver. That was set in stone. Absolutely wonderful. Oh, I love this. So I had a couple of parts gathered before I made this truck. Again, you kind of, when you have an idea for something you want to make in mind, you get some pieces to begin with. A couple of certain colors, a couple of certain shapes. You want to make sure that you know what you can do before you get started. And of course, as you build, sometimes things change. But overall, the Vita Rush delivery truck has been made. Not something that's more on the side of street racers, but it's a nice extra vehicle to have on the car scene. It is just wonderful. It really is. Oh, yeah. I'm so happy with this. I am very happy with this. So yeah, that is the Vita Rush delivery truck. I do wish I had something on the doors, though. If I can find... Well, there isn't anything that can go on the doors. But in the future, if there is another small... Just a small little Vita Rush sticker, that would be excellent. Oh, God. My throat is getting quite dry. Again, so much talking. Whew. So we have just under 20 minutes left. We still have 2 lowriders, 2 tuners, and a drifter left to go. I don't know if we're going to have time to showcase all those models. If we don't, that's fine, because there's more I can say for another day. But what do you want to see next? Lowriders, a drifter, or tuners? And the tuners, at least one of them, has a very obvious inspiration of which I have with me to be able to showcase. Lowrider. Ooh, drifter. Ooh, I guess I'm the deciding vote now. And I think I know which one I really want to showcase next. So we'll do a lowrider and then we'll do the drifter. We'll do it that way round. So this lowrider in particular is pretty much a one-to-one recreation of a Hot Wheels car. I remember seeing this in the box when I was car booting, bought it, had all the parts. I thought, it's happening. As I was building it, I thought to myself, I wonder if anyone has had this particular shape of car modified to be a lowrider. Like 2 seconds into my research, I saw exactly what I wanted to see. I was like, yes, I have an excuse to make it a lowrider. Ladies and gentlemen, Oh, yes, Daddy. Blue and dark blue. Oh, hang on. There we go. Let's get some more light up in here. But look at this. This is one of the coolest cars. Depending on how I'm feeling, this is also up there as one of my top 5 favorites. I think this is my favorite lowrider. And yes, it does have the lowrider hydraulic pieces in place. Oh man, I built this in like 3.5 hours. It's definitely one of the quicker cars I've made because again, the inspiration was right there. All the parts were available. Well, as with a lot of the cars I'm making nowadays, I pretty much have all the parts straight away. I am due to make some Bricklink orders to kind of restock. But the bumper was the only tricky thing because I needed to make sure I can have it all just linked together. I really wanted to use these pieces that you see in the middle here. I had to use some tiles on the side to make it kind of work. And because the license plate is going to be on one side, for the sake of balance, it has to be a tile there as well. On the back, we got some exhausts. Again, it's nothing too out there, I guess. It is a classic sort of 50s car, would you say? Like a pimped out, pimped out 50s car. I nearly said 50s, but you know what I mean. It's not quite the Pimpmobile. Well, it could be with the fact that it has hydraulics. But this is definitely up there as one of my all-time favorites. The best thing is, I wanted to make a car with blue and dark blue as the color combo for a very long time. When I was working on the cars for Street Racer Season 2, I wanted to make something with that color combination. The frustrating thing was I didn't know how to go about it. I ended up making a muscle car that was blue, dark blue, and teal. It has since been modified to remove the teal, and the shape was modified at the same time. I thought, well, that's one thing, but maybe there's another one I can do in the future. Again, went car booting, found the Hot Wheels car, made this, and yeah, it's up there. I will say, the minifigure absolutely rocks. Quite literally, jailhouse rocker. Look at that stylish hair. How can I need to be able to, it's too bright again. Nice, lovely looking leather jacket, blonde swooshing hair. It's a perfect combination. And again, this is up there as one of my all-time favorites. But this is a lowrider. And again, I remember seeing on my research that some people, not that many, I guess, but again, the instant research I did, there are people who made this, lowrider-able. And that's what makes it really good. I think the car had to be this long anyway for the shape to work. So I thought, well, if it's going to be this long anyways, that's 10 studs between the wheels. At the absolute maximum for a rigid base car, I will do 8 studs. Sometimes 7, but I don't really bother with 6 anymore because I feel like it's too small for me. But it'll only ever really be 10 if I'm doing it as a lowrider because of how it's all built underneath. But yeah, it works. It really works. Oh, baby. Okay then, so that is one of 2 lowriders I've got. And as agreed, let's move on to the Drifter. So funny story, this was technically a lowrider as well. If you watch the Bristol Brick Show vlog that I did, you will find the previous iteration of this model with my other lowriders. What's that? Okay, that's just nothing. But I thought to myself, the idea for that being a lowrider is there, but it's not really working. I need to modify this to a state that I'm more happy with. So I spent some time rebuilding it, and I thought, well, there's one car I made early on where the spoilers were what I call wings. It is the green and dark green car from the profile character of Diachi. So I thought, well, let's try that again. Why not? Let's have another Drifter style car with wings as the spoiler. I'm also experimenting with Dark Azure. This is the first car I've made with Dark Azure. It's the first model I've made with Dark Azure, for that matter. yeah, we have this wonderful thing. This is actually really cool. So there's two things from this. First of all, wanting to make this came from the flame piece that's there on the side. So there was a monster truck set that came out at the start of this year, which had two of these included. And the idea was to eventually use them for something else. I bought 5 of those sets. So 6 out of the 10 I got went on one of my other custom monster trucks. I got 4 left over. I thought, well, why not try and make it work for something? So again, this was supposed to be a lowrider. It was a bit longer. It didn't really work, but after some reshaping, some elements were changed. The headlights were changed. Added the wings, which again, that's what I call these bits here. It's a different kind of spoiler. Again, gives it a much more unique shape. I think the wheels look pretty good for it too. Yeah, I think this looks pretty good. It's got a hell of a lot less yellow than previous. There was more yellow on the top, especially in the corners of the bonnet. But I think just having that yellow stripe on the bottom fits much nicer. An extra color to break up all the blandness, but it's not overwhelming. But dark azure, black and yellow, I kept on thinking about Invincible's super suit. Because, I don't know about anybody else, but this reminds me of Invincible. It's definitely not Invincible. I have to do a flight test. No, I'm not going to do that. That'd be one hell of a video. To make a model solely to do a flight test. Would you want to see that? Let me know. But yeah, this is my drifter. I like the idea of this, Tokyo drifting in a car park. The shape of it fits really well. Again, it's the wings. It's the fact that the wings at the back give it that factor. I think this turned out really well. It's a hell of a lot better than the previous version. Yeah, so that is the drifter. Hoo-wee. So, we have a little under 10 minutes left. Let's take a quick break from all the models. 6 out of 9 models. We have just under 10 minutes. Let's have a quick break from the models for now. If anybody has any questions they want to ask me in the chat, feel free to go ahead and do so. Not long until we have to call it quits, but we still have plenty of time to have some fun. Let's have another drink whilst we're at it. Oh, clicky neck. Right, we got 1 lowrider and 2 tuners. There we go, put on the right fingers. What are we feeling this time? We probably have time for 1 more. Tom says, maybe after the live stream, we can talk on your Discord if you want to. I'll stick around for a little bit, and we'll probably figure out something, but I won't be there for long. Oh, I'm not feeling 100% today. Good Lord. Sorry about all the horrible sounds. Should we do the other lowrider? This was another model that took a bit of time to get right, but that was because I used some stickers for this particular model. Oh, horrible. More horrible noises. My sincerest apologies. This needs to be trimmed as well. Look at this. Look at all this scruff. This needs to be trimmed. Look at the hair. Terrible. Oh my god. Yeah, so we'll do 1 more model. 2 tuners or lowrider. What are we going for? What's funny is the first model I showcased, I got out just in case I didn't have enough models to do at the end of the stream. The lowrider is fun, but the tuners, one of them in particular, is a very satisfying end result. You want the other lowrider? All right then. Ask and you shall receive. So I'm going to finish the stream off with one more showcase, and then we will wrap things up. So yes, I have been keen to get some more sticker sheets from sets, because seeing some of the sticker sheets I've got at the moment for some of my models has been really exciting. It adds more character to each car. Now, the sticker sheet that I mainly used, I don't know what set that's come from, but it actually works really nicely, and it inspired the idea to give black and white another go. So I got two cars that are dominantly black and white, but this is arranged in such a way where it's black at the front and white in the rear. The other car I've got, which is sort of this color scheme, is white at the front and black in the rear. And the third one is white main body with black detailing around it. Oh, pardon me. So the stickers inspired this, and after some back and forth and figuring out how much black I actually wanted on the model, we have this. Oh, I need to turn the light down again. There we go. So if I look at it sideways, I need to turn it down a bit more. Is that going to work? That's the best I can do. So yeah, it's this sticker here that inspired the idea. It's maybe not the cleanest. In person, it looks a hell of a lot cleaner. I had quite a few. The sticker sheet I had included 8 of this particular sticker. It's all the same. So you've got 3 on one side, 3 on the other, and 2 behind the rear window. I also wanted to see what it would look like if I had wheels akin to the color of what's surrounding them. So we've got black wheels at the front, white wheels in the rear. The shape overall is not too bad. I think this kind of takes elements from a couple of other cars, but again, it definitely stands out on its own. Yeah, my nose, I can feel it getting more and more blocked. Looking at the hood, it's actually got quite a few stickers going on there. So these line stickers, I don't remember what they're from. It said Task Force on the other stickers on that sheet, which I think was from a Captain America set I got way back, but the sticker sheet was completely clean. So these front lines here are 2x2 stickers, and we've got like 2x4 stickers here. So I'm able to line them all up just to give it a little extra something. And this piece is beautiful. Absolutely lovely sticker. That went on the center, and the idea was to kind of have that kind of go from the side mirror to kind of where it goes white. That's a bit tricky to figure out. So I left it as is. And overall, it's actually really nice. Definitely not the best lowrider I've made. Obviously, we looked at another one earlier. But I think it's definitely up there as one of the better cars too. This was a struggle. Mainly so when I first made it, it was right down the middle, about there, where it was front half, like proper front half black, and the rear half in white. But I thought, well, the black is too far, or like too much to the rear, so I had to bring it forward, turned it into how you see here, and I wanted to give it horns, because I had these forever, and I thought, I've got to put it on a car somewhere, and I think this one absolutely steals it. So yeah, that is lowrider number 5. Yeah, this is lowrider number 5. Technically, so the Drifter, this was number 5, but I turned it into a like a rigid base car. This is new number 5. So there we go. Oh yes. So 7 models showcased for this. Oops, that's the wrong button. There we go. So that was 7 models showcased for this live stream. That's pretty good. The first 20 minutes or so was conversation, which was always lovely. But yeah, it was good to get some more models showcased for you all here. And there are a hell of a lot more on the way. So Street Racers Season 3 is coming out in the new year. There is a hell of a lot of sets I'm going to be getting my hands on in order to make the set pieces. And once that's all done, I can look into finishing up all the writing, get all the story bits done, and I can get the filming done whenever that all finishes, basically. So sadly, my desires to get this all finished this year got dashed once I had the idea of having multiple sets. But that's okay, because that means we get to enjoy more in the future. And that will be it for this live stream. That is pretty much everything I have for you here today. Good to finally showcase some more models. It's good to see that people are excited for them. Season 3 will be coming out, I really don't know when, to be honest. But it's safe to say it's going to be one hell of a season. So when it does come out, stay tuned for it, because it's going to be so, so good. Also, if you want to support me in a more personal way, the link to my Patreon page is linked at the top of the description. For just £3 a month, you get access to exclusive perks. And that will conclude it here for this live stream today. Thank you all so much for watching, folks. And I will see you all in the next episode. Take care, everyone. I'll see you soon. Bye.